They call him the divine flute player, the destroyer of evil, the protector of Dharma. But there is a side to Krishna's story that is rarely told. A side hidden beneath the songs, the festivals, the images of a smiling boy holding butter in his hands. Because the life of Krishna is not only one of miracles, it is also a life haunted by words, spoken in anger, grief and vengeance, words that even a god could not undo. For every curse is a chain, and for Krishna there were 8 of them. 8 chains that pulled him, slowly, toward an end that was written before he was even born. It began when Krishna was still a child in Gokul. The Yamuna River glistened under the afternoon sun, and Krishna, mischievous as ever, played with his friends, splashing water, laughing and teasing the cowherd girls. But one day his games interrupted the meditation of a great sage, Durvasa. Durvasa was no ordinary ascetic. His temper was infamous, feared by gods and demons alike. That day the cool river water splashed onto his closed eyelids. His trance shattered. His eyes opened slowly, and the air around him seemed to grow heavier.
"Child," he said in a voice that was calm, far too calm, "you will grow to be loved by all, yet none of your kin will survive to see your final moments."
Krishna only smiled at the time, but the words lodged themselves deep into the fabric of his destiny. Years later, the great war of Kurukshetra ended. The battlefield was a graveyard. The smell of burning pyres filled the wind. In a tent lit by a single flickering lamp, Gandhari, the queen of Hastinapura, stood before Krishna. Her eyes were blindfolded as they had been for decades, but her voice was a blade. She had lost her 100 sons, every one of them, slain in the war that Krishna had allowed, even guided.
You, who claim to be the upholder of righteousness, stood and watched as my sons were slaughtered, as my sons died helpless before my eyes. So too will your clan, your brothers, your friends, your sons, perish before you. And you, O Krishna, will die alone, abandoned.
Shishupala, Krishna's cousin, was born with deformities that vanished when Krishna lifted him as a baby, and so Shishupala hated Krishna from the moment he could speak. At a royal gathering, he mocked Krishna relentlessly, insults dripping like venom. Krishna had sworn to forgive him up to 100 offenses, but when the 101st insult left his mouth, Krishna's Sudarshana chakra cut through the air and ended him. The hall fell silent. But Shishupala's mother collapsed, screaming over her son's lifeless body. Her wails were more terrifying than the weapon that killed him.
"For every drop of my son's blood, may you live to see the blood of your kin run like rivers."
Rukmi, brother of Krishna's wife, Rukmini, never forgave Krishna for abducting her. He died later in a petty gambling quarrel. Not on the battlefield, but over a game. Before his last breath, he whispered, "Your people will fall, not by the swords of their enemies, but by their own hands, over their own foolishness." Of all the curses, this one was the most chilling, because it came from Krishna's own son. Samba, mischievous and arrogant, once disguised himself as a pregnant woman to mock a group of visiting sages, asking them to predict the gender of the child she carried. The sages' faces darkened. "That child will be an iron pestle," they said coldly, "and that pestle will destroy your entire clan." When the prophecy came true, the pestle was ground into dust and thrown into the sea. But the dust returned with the waves. It spread into the soil and into the hearts of men. One night, in a drunken frenzy, the Yadavas slaughtered one another with iron-tipped reeds that had grown from that cursed dust. Once, sage Brigu came to test the gods. When he approached Krishna, the earthly form of Vishnu, he struck him on the chest. Krishna forgave him with a smile.
"Even kindness can become the root of sorrow, and those you spare today will be the architects of your doom tomorrow."
Jarasandha, king of Magadha, fought Krishna again and again. Each time he lost.
"Your enemies will not kill you, your own blood will. They will rise against you when you are least prepared."
When all was over, Krishna wandered into the forest. Dwarka had sunk beneath the waves. The Yadavas were gone. Every brother, every son, every friend. Sitting beneath a tree, Krishna closed his eyes in meditation. From a distance, a hunter named Jara saw him. Mistaking Krishna's foot for the ear of a deer, he shot an arrow. When Jara approached and saw what he had done, he fell to his knees in horror.
But Krishna only smiled. "You were only the hand of destiny. This was promised long before you were born."
And in that quiet forest, far from the crowds that once sang his name, The life of Krishna came to an end. 8 curses, 8 prophecies, each one a step toward a fate even the divine could not escape. Perhaps it was not punishment, perhaps it was the balance of the universe, because even a god must walk the path of mortality before dissolving into eternity.